outside, closed, pit road is closed.
Hi everybody, welcome to Big Gun Racing. Today we're in the ARCA Menards Chevrolet Impala on Charlotte Motor Speedway, oval track. This car is a real handful on this track. The car has a tendency to be really loose the first couple of laps, then it starts to tighten up, and you spend the whole race trying to stay off the outside wall. So I did some testing and looked up on the forums and found a solution to that problem, I hope. So we're going to run this race and see if that solution worked. So I kind of messed up my qualifying. I ended up in 14th place on the number 18 car. We're going to switch over here to the relative box here in a little bit before the race starts. I got like a minute 15 seconds before the race starts, so so this is a 35 lap race. It goes towards your safety rating and your I rating points. So it's important that you do well in these types of races. And it's usually a wreck fest on this track with these cars. So we're going to do our best, see if we can hold on for the 35 laps. The main goal is to survive.
The air temp is 25 Celsius. The track temp is 27 Celsius.
And try to improve our standings and take as few
Car number 9 in the outside column.
and take as few incidents as possible. Sorry, I'm just trying to get around that voice.
Jet start 2, car.
So we're on the outside line.
Jet start 14, car. Jet start 11, car. Jet start 9, car.
I made a few adjustments to my steering ratio and my steering offset based on what I found in the forum. So we're going to try this. Hopefully it'll make it easier to turn the car once it tightens up. You really do have to watch it though the first couple of laps, because it'll be extremely loose because of this. So when we try to stay out of the mayhem at the start of the race, usually the first 1 or 2 laps is pretty bad as far as incidents are concerned. People think they can win the race the first lap, so number 9 there just had a little internet blink.
Get ready, going green.
Got to make sure we don't run into him
Okay, Brian, stay calm, focus.
when we get the green light. So
Go, go, go.
Green, green. Car down low.
number 11 car bounced off the wall already, and we get punted by number 13. So I got to wait till the cars pass that I know about. I knew there was like 4 cars behind me at the time, so kind of waited and I get back into the race. Now I managed to avoid the wall with the front of the car, so I don't think there's any engine damage. I got punted on the back, so we'll know in the next 1 or 2 laps whether I've lost any miles per hour and if it's hurt my lap time. So now we still got cold tires.
Straight car ahead. Go high.
It's usually turn 4 that's really bad for this car wanting to move up the track and into the outside wall. So
The leader has just done a 30.9.
this one here, which is turn 2, I believe. is not so bad. This one here is a real challenge. So you want to enter that corner
Last lap time is 30.7.
and get to the bottom as quick as you can. With both corners, actually, I really like to run that blue line as close to it as I can. That way, when the car starts drifting up, I've got room to correct it before I contact the wall. So, and it's all about feathering the throttle at the right time and accelerating at the right time.
The guy in front has just done a 30.4.
This guy here is kind of creating a problem, but
13.
we're able to get past him.
The leader has just done 30.7.
So when I got punted, I think I went to 17th position, and now I've made up, I'm back to 13th position. I've got a car ahead of me that's a lap down, so I won't gain anything by racing him. He just went into the pits, so he's out of the way.
The gap to Murphy ahead is now 8.1.
So we're going to try chase down this Murphy, the number 1 car. He's 8.1 seconds ahead of me, which is quite a ways, but I should be able to make some good lap times here before the car starts to really tighten up. And it feels like my adjustments were the right ones to make. It is still a bit of a beast to handle, but it is manageable. The tires will start going away around lap 12 to 15, and it'll gradually get worse. So by the end of the 35 laps, it's really loose on the straightaways and really tight on the corners. I expect I'll be down around 35% of my tire left by the time this 35 lap race is over. Oh, that guy luckily didn't move up into my path. We got around him. So it looks like there's been a fair amount of incidents already. We'll check out the incidents at the end of the race to see what was going on. Now we just want to get some laps in.
The 11. The gap in front is now 11.
Dodging the slower cars
2.3.
kind of does it to your lap time. If you can get a free run, you'll have a better idea of what your lap time should be at this point in the race. Now we're on lap 8, so the tires are going to start to go, the car is going to start to tighten up. Another 32-second lap. About 2 seconds off what I should be able to do when I have fresh tires and a clear path.
The next car is green. Green in front is pitting.
So just as I catch up to the next car, they go into the pits. So there's a 31.5 second lap. So I'm still about a second slower than I would be with fresh tires. So that's something to consider. I've moved up to 9th position. I'm in the top 10. And we're 10 laps in, so we've still got 25 laps to go. So the question becomes, do you take a chance and go in and get fresh tires, lose your position on the track, and try to make it up in the next 20 or so laps? I decided that I'm not sure what damage I have on the car, and I don't want to go into the pits to get tires and find out that I've got a 35 or 40 second repair time that I have to wait for. So I'm going to stay out until I can't handle the tires anymore. Track position is important for your safety factor and your iRating.
The lap times
So
are improving. This is exactly what we need.
this is all about gaining as many points as I can get to get me up out of the D class license into the C.
Go high.
The car ahead's pitting now. P8.
So now we've moved into A position. Like I said, every time I get close to a car, they seem to go into the pits. So there's going to be a lot of cars coming out later on in the race with fresh tires that I'm going to have to deal with. So depending if they're over on the relative box, if they're red, that means they're ahead of me. If they're blue, that means they're at least one lap behind. It's the guys in the white coloring that are important to me. I can lose position or I can gain position by passing them or them passing me. So I'm not too concerned. I'm kind of surrounded by blue colored players right now, which means they're at least one lap down. So I don't need to race them. I don't gain anything by racing them, but I could end up in an incident or get wrecked. So you kind of try to stay away from these guys, and if they want to pass you, give them lots of room to pass. The same with the guys in the red. I can go a lap down, but it's not going to affect my standings, my 8th position. So there's not much sense in racing them either. Let them go by, and you're not going to gain anything by racing those guys either. So that's kind of the thought process that you go through when you're in a race like this. You just want to survive. We're on lap 16 now, and the car is getting really tight. So you got to feather the throttle a lot more on the corners. Delay your acceleration a little bit on the corners to make sure you're going to get around without running into that outside wall. So this guy ahead of me is at least a lap down. So I'm not going to chase him down. I'll follow him for a while. But I won't chase him down unless he lets me go by. So I'm not going to race him. I know it gets to be pretty boring in the race, but it's all about strategy. What you can do to make your outcome of the race as best as possible. We're about 2 seconds, maybe 2¼ seconds slower than what we're able to do when we have fresh tires. So that's how much the tires affect it. And with the car getting really tight in the corners, your throttle feathering is a lot longer. Your acceleration is delayed, and that's why you end up with the longer lap times.
All right, Brian, that's half distance. You're looking good for fuel.
So by starting out on 14th, if I can get into the top 10, maintain the top 10, I'm happy with that. I'll get some safety points, and I'll get some iRating points, as long as I keep my nose clean and stay out of that wall or any incidents with other drivers. So we're in 7th place now. And now we're in 6th place as we cross the start-finish line. So
P6.
that's 8 positions better than what I started the race at. And so far, the only instance I have is when I got punted in the first lap there.
Car ahead is Rose.
But I'll tell you, this car is really getting difficult to handle in these corners.
There's a car leaving the pits.
It's tight in the corner, and coming out of the corner, it starts to get loose. You can see by the steering wheel just how much movement there is to try to keep this car going straight.
You're railing Rose in. The gap is 12 seconds.
So the driver in 5th position is number 11, and he's like 12 and almost 12 and a half seconds ahead of me. So it's, unless he has an incident, I'm not going to be able to catch him.
32.638.
So, and I realize that it's lap 22, so now it's just a matter of trying to survive the next 13 laps. There's a car coming up on my inside. He's a lap down, so he's not going to affect me at all, so I let him go. And these guys are sometimes overdrive their cars to try to get that lap back and just create more incidents, so it's not worth trying to defend your position when there's no effect if they do pass you. Oh wow, this car is really getting hard to handle. That's the easier end of the track. This end of the track is harder. The curve is so much longer, and then you go into the tri-oval, so it's really loose through here.
Lap time was 33.1.
Now I gotta try to stick it to that blue line to stay off that outside wall. And you can see the cars traveling up towards that outside wall before you get out of the corner. So
Sixth place.
so I got another lap car coming behind me, and then the leader is coming behind as well, and then there's a lap car behind him. So my position's pretty safe as long as I don't have an incident. So I'm going to give these guys lots of opportunity to pass safely.
Seconds.
And this guy wants to pass on a corner. The worst place to pass, but he was able to get around me, so. We got 10 laps to go. So far, so good. You can see my lap time is dropping considerably because of my feathering of the throttle going into the corners and my delayed acceleration coming out, and there we almost hit the wall. The tires are pretty well shot. The problem with that is you're turning a lot sharper into the corners and scrubbing more wear off those tires as you do it. Accident up front. Which way do we go? Oh, we dodged one and dodged the other, so
Trying to tell you I'm staying low.
Car on top.
that was fortunate.
New high. Okay, Brian, we're in a lucky dog position. Let's see if we can keep it.
I think both of those guys were already down at least a lap, so I didn't gain anything through that. I just avoided an incident. So the leader just passed me, so I'm a lap down, but no consequence. I'm still in 6th place. He was able to catch up quicker because I had to slow down for that accident up front. So now I've got a lap car behind me, and then 2nd and 3rd place are behind me. We've got 7 laps to go. Let's see if we can be competitive enough
You've just done it.
for these guys not to catch me. Here comes one coming up. He's a lap car, so I don't care about him. We'll let him go.
Inside.
Swing down in behind him so we don't run into that outside wall. You see my lap times are getting a little slower all the time, but I'm really having to manhandle this steering wheel to keep this car off the walls. and from spinning out too, because once we get off that corner, it gets pretty loose. It goes the other direction. So
Thanks, 14.
The gap behind has now decreased to 90 seconds. That lap time was 33.6.
Brick. You serious, mate? I'm overtaking and you're calling me a prick.
So it looks like the car in third place is having a little bit of an issue. Number 14 car. That's okay by me because that slowed him up a little bit.
2 laps remaining. Last lap
So we
time
got
was
2 laps to go.
33.6.
We've got a lap car behind me, and second and third place cars are behind me. We're still in 6th place. I'm hoping none of those guys try to pass me on the corners, because I'm really having a struggle to keep this car in its race line.
Okay, Brian. Lap times are pretty consistent.
Okay, we're on our white flag lap. Just got to complete one more lap. We've got a lap car behind us.
P6. Okay, that's the end. Good
But
finish,
we're
mate.
safe.
Well done.
So,
Checkered flag, checkered
6th
flag.
position. From 14th to 6th. I'll take
Good
that.
job. Very good job.
Now we'll go and have a look at the incidents and the results. Okay, so we're going to have a look at these incidents. There's quite a few of them. But we'll see if we can get through them fairly quickly. So here we go.
Go.
So there's the first incident. Number 13 punted me into the wall. And he took the worst of the damage, I do believe. Number 6 spins out, hits number 3. Number 3 hits number 9. Number 4 stops up there. Wow. This guy loses it and goes in the inside wall. There's a 13 that hit me. He's in pretty rough shape. He gets clipped as well and ends up in the wall again. So he decides he's going to go backwards and get into the pit rather than go around the lap, but he hits the inside wall again. Nice move. There's number 6 hitting the wall, losing control, hitting the wall again. Clips number 1. And he's still going full blast here. He does stop from hitting the inside wall. Number 19 car clips the wall. And this is the problem with these cars, like I've been saying. Very hard to keep them off that wall. There's number 3 does the same thing. Is that number 3 or number 13? I can't tell. Number 2 runs into number 1.
My bad, 11, sorry.
And they're headed to the pits.
My bad, 11, sorry.
Number 5 just spun number 13. And he gets punted by someone else. 13 still skittering across the track. He hits the inside wall. Number 9 comes back out on the track and immediately hits the outside wall. Number 6 loses control, hits the inside wall. Does a little spin in the grass. And here number 6 is again. Looks like he lost a piece of his car here on the track. So he's going to go into the pits. But he hits the inside wall of the pits and the outside wall of the pits. And serious engine damage. There's the Caterpillar car again. Bounces off the safety barrels at the end of the pit. There he is again, number 5, all fixed up, and he's scrubbing the outside wall.
Okay, that's this guy. Let's get the looking on position.
Number 12, scrubbing the outside wall. Very hard to control this car. Number 19, scrubbing the outside wall. Here's number 12 again. Oh, he's rubbing that outside wall this time. A couple times. And the number 14 car hits the wall. Here's the number 1 car.
I was going to say I was staying low.
He was getting punted by the number 5.
Why were you blocking me? I was trying to tell you I was staying low.
I think number 1's headed to the pits. Quite sure why 14 showed up. There's 19. So that's why he rubs 14. That won't go over too well.
Okay, Ryan, we're in the looking dog position right now.
You serious, mate? I'm overtaking you. You're calling me a prick.
Number 15 car bounces off the outside wall. Seems fairly consistent in that corner of the track. There's number 10. What's he going to do? He cuts that corner. And he gets punted by, I think it's a number 12. And that's it. So I guess we'll go and we'll take a look at the results. Okay, so the results are, I started out in 14th. I ended up in 6th. I had 4 incident points, and that's for getting punted on that first lap. My safety rating, I went up 0.09, and my I rating, I went up 61. So I'll take that. I think I was successful in my change to my car. I didn't hit the wall in those 35 laps, and you can see with the incidents, there's quite a few guys that were having trouble like that. So we'll take that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I made it as informative as I could. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.